Welcome to Soul Led Lifestyle Podcast with me, Adele McCoy, and my magical guests, giving you the strategy, tools, and activation you'll need to create your soul life. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Soul Led Lifestyle Podcast with me, Adele McCoy. Today is a special one because I'm going to be connecting with a fellow medium and psychic. She's amazing. You've just got to hear her story, like literally mind-blowing. Her name is Dawn Hacking. She's a psychic medium, delivering messages of comfort, hope, and healing and guidance from your loved ones in spirit. Also, Dawn is a gift activator, a spirit-led psychic, and mediumship mentor. So she not only is a psychic medium, but she trains and teaches others to tap into their gifts to become one as well. Such a beautiful energy, beautiful soul. I really enjoyed recording this podcast. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it too. Sit back and relax, and I will see you on the other side. Hey, Dawn.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
I'm just going to dive straight in, as I always do. Tell me a little bit about yourself growing up as a child, your family life. What was it like?
So I had under the age of 4, had quite a difficult upbringing. And then I met my stepmom, and she literally loved me like her own child. And I've been so. We grew up on a council estate. We didn't come from money. My mum had 4 of us to look after. It was quite hard, really. They both worked full time. We didn't have a lot, but we were loved.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And yeah, so that's my upbringing, and we've always been very, very close as well.
Mm-hmm.
As a family. We've always supported each other no matter what we've kind of done in life as well. So that's amazing.
So you're all really close now, your siblings?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. It really is. So then tell me how then you kind of discovered your gifts and how did that all start?
So probably I think I'm a natural born medium, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I didn't know I was. Okay, so I remember being very, very young and feeling lots of different energies around, and it absolutely terrified me because as a child, you don't know what this is, you can't see anything at the time. And all sorts of things were going off, and I tell my mum and my dad, and they're going, it's just your imagination, there's no one in your bedroom. And I'm like, no, there really is. And you see this a lot, don't you, with parents saying it's just your imagination, and it really wasn't.
Yeah.
And I used to be that scared. I'd hide under my covers when going to sleep, and I'd have like a little peephole, and I thought, oh God, they're watching me all the time. And I used to call them the watchers because they used to watch me all the time. I was terrified because I didn't understand. And this went on. Lots of experience happened where I knew there was something different, and I felt different. I felt like I didn't fit in with normal, like, your friends having a laugh and things.
Yeah.
Thinking, I don't feel like that's funny. And just feeling a bit different. And I'm thinking, why am I not like them? Do I feel older than I actually am as well?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
And so that was as a teenager?
That was as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I do remember my dad worked nights and my mum worked days. And what she remembers as my psychic connection, psychic connection, was he used to come home in the morning. My mum would get us up and give us breakfast, get us dressed for school. Then she'd go and my dad would take us to school. But he didn't come home. And he was hours and hours late, and we didn't go to school because my mum didn't want to go and him not be here. And I said, oh, he's had a really bad accident. and he's broken his right leg, and he's got a pot from his foot to his thigh, and he's got big crutches. Bearing in mind, I'm probably about 10, and she told me off. She made me sit on the sofa. Do not open your mouth again, Dawn. That's horrible. You don't say things like that. Why would you say that? Because she doesn't believe in any of this even now.
Oh, wow.
So it's funny. And then my dad came home about half an hour later, and he had the crutches and the broken right leg.
Oh, wow.
And she looked at me like, how did you know that?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that was my very first, that's what I remember of
And
my first psychic connection.
how did that make you feel? Do you remember all of that?
I remember that, yeah. That's
how did that make you feel? Because I mean, it must have been quite young. That's quite a young age to sort of digest. Okay, I know I saw this and it's actually happened, but you know, how did it make you feel seeing your dad like that?
Oh, I think I don't know. It didn't. It just kind of came out of my mouth. So I didn't actually see an image or a video clip. It was actually just a knowing.
Yeah.
So you know, we have a knowing sense as well, and it was that. It just came out of my mouth, and I didn't mean to say it. It just came out. And I don't remember feeling any. I just didn't. I just shrugged it off. If you get what I mean. Like, well, that's what I just said, and that's that. It didn't really affect me.
So then, when was it that you decided to sort of really delve into that world and your gifts and use them?
Oh gosh. So you'll laugh. I went through teenage years, ignored. I started to see spirit a little bit more, seeing energy. So for me, it was very see-through, a bit like, I describe it like this, and it probably terrified people, but I describe it as like a see-through energy, which is a bit like, if anyone's ever watched Predator, right?
Yes, that's how I see it.
Yeah, that's see-through.
Yeah.
But you know they're there.
Yeah.
So that's what I was seeing. So I started to see that quite a lot more, but I ignored it because I thought, oh, everyone's going to think I'm weird. And my friends, you know, at the time, I thought they don't talk about anything like this. I ignored them. I ignored everything to do with any spirits or anything like that. And it wasn't until about 14, and I was like, I am seeing stuff. I am seeing this. This is real. I'm not mental.
Yeah.
Still hid it. I got more into being interested in spirituality and ghosts and this, that, and the other. Like you think at that age, it was all ghosts, ooh, spooky, and it was exciting. So then I got to 18, and I remember moving out into a World Heritage site, build a house. And thinking I was very mature and I had my full-time job and this, and you know, gosh, the rent then were like £550.
Oh, I remember those days.
Back then. Jeez, I was there. So anyway, I lived there for 1 year, and I thought the house was haunted and there was ghosts and something was trying to hurt me. There wasn't. It wasn't like that. I just felt the watchers, and I'm thinking, they're still here. They're here in this house.
Yeah.
And I remember moving in, and I was really tired. I'd gone to bed about 8:30 because I'd unboxed everything and put everything in its place. And I remember hearing footsteps really loud up the stairs and stopping outside my bedroom door. And I was absolutely terrified.
And
it happened again
own?
too. I was on my own.
Oh, wow.
At 18. And then it happened again at 2:00 the next morning. And I was like, okay, this is weird. This is more activity than when I lived at my mum and dad's, and I felt safe at my mum and dad's because they were there. So these were a whole new terrifying situation. And there were so many things that, like, just on the landing at the top of the stairs, I knew there was a spirit watching me, and I had to run down the stairs. It was horrendous. It was so scary. And someone said to me, you know, why don't you go to the spiritualist church and see if you can get a message? So I thought, oh yeah, I like stuff like this, you know, even though it was terrifying me at home. So we went, me and my friend went, and we sat at the back, and I thought, I'll sit at the back and hopefully she don't come to me. Like you do. And she did. She come to me and she said, oh, you look really young. You are 18, aren't you? I said, yes, I'm 18. She said, oh, that's okay. I'll come to you, but I don't want to scare you. So she said to me, she gave me the evidence first, and she told me about the things that was happening in my house, which candles I used to light. And there was one candle that I used to light, she said, that helped spirit come around me more, which I did
If you
not
knew
know.
that, you wouldn't have
I'd be
lit
like,
it.
yeah, they chucked them out at the time. And I was like, oh, wow, there is something really in this. And, you know, like, what, and I still didn't understand it. And she said to me, there's absolutely busloads of spirits here waiting to communicate with you.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I don't know that many people that have passed over. So it can't be right. And she said to me, you can stand here and do this. You are a medium and you're a psychic. And I'm thinking, no way, no way. Didn't want to believe it.
Yeah.
But it should have said, look, we do a circle here. We can help you. I probably would have got, but she didn't. Nobody said anything to me. So I just thought, oh, okay. Went home. Then I got it in my head that these spirits were watching me, and I'm like, why are they watching me? And it got a bit worse. I got a bit paranoid, to be honest.
Yeah.
And things started to ramp up because I'd gone to the spiritualist church. Spirit started to ramp up, and it was almost like they wanted to shove me into learning, but I didn't know how at the time.
Okay.
As I know now, when she said the busloads of spirits, I had loads and they wanted to communicate with me. I understand now this is spirit. Being a medium, they are waiting for you to develop.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know at the time. So I ignored it still. I moved back home after a year because I was still terrified.
Yeah.
And then I moved out again when I was 21 and I had my first daughter. And I was still having spiritual experiences, but because of my mind was focused, my human body and my mind was focused on raising a child and everything that went on. I was working full time as well. It kind of got put on the back burner.
Yeah.
So I had all my children, and then it wasn't until I was 30. I was 35, and my marriage had broken down. And you go through that. I'd always been with somebody since I was 14, so I'd never really experienced being on my own fully.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually know who I was as a person, because I'd always linked in with their energies, become like them, and not really being my own person. So this was a self-discovery time of my life that I went through. I lost a lot of weight. I became the physical version of how I should actually be. And it was the most happiest time at that point. And I felt good. I felt energized. But my inner self wasn't on par with my outer self, So I had a lot of inner healing to do from my childhood, pre 4 years old. And I didn't know I was carrying that around with me. So I had to release a lot of trauma, and I went on a healing journey.
Oh, okay.
Which, even though it's hard, you have to go through it, and now it's incredible.
So how long has that been since you started doing that?
So since 35. So I'm 39 in January now. And I'm still on my healing journey. You never stop healing. There's always something that crops up, doesn't it?
It's kind of, I always say, another level, another devil that you've got to deal with. There's always something else,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, I went on this outer healing journey, which was my physical body. And then I had to go on the inner healing journey, which was to try get them on par. Now, I ended up having another child. Situation changed, and I had another child. I had a fourth child. So I had my child, and then I put all this weight back on, and I thought, oh my God, I've gone backwards, and it really affected me mentally to go backwards. And then but at the same time, I was healing my inner self.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that inner healing and getting my spirit body, soul body ready, I think that's what it was,
Mm-hmm.
to then develop properly.
Yeah.
So I started developing probably March last year,
Okay. Yeah.
properly, fully throwing myself into it, going, do you know what? I know this is what I'm meant to do. And spirit was literally in this house going bananas.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it was really kind of like, I have to do this. I've got no other choice because this is what they want me to do.
Yeah.
And I went on a development journey and learned so much in such a short space of time. And then I was with a mentor for a little bit, and then I changed mentors
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like I needed something else.
Yeah.
So my alignment for the first mentor had gone. It'd gone
Yeah.
off rail a little bit. So I needed to find a new one. So I did. I found another lovely lady, Katie, she's called,
Mm-hmm.
and she's absolutely beautiful. Her energy was beautiful, and I joined her in October 2022.
Oh.
And in January this year, sorry, October 20, yeah, no, October
2021.
2021,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
January this year, January 2022, I still had low confidence, low self-esteem because of my outer physical self. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how to love myself as not the slim version that I used to be.
Okay.
So my inner self, um, in that way, the spirit had grown, absolutely, and healed as far as it could
Mm-hmm.
go. And I had to work on my telling myself that I'm beautiful the way that I am,
Mm-hmm.
that I love myself the way that I am, and that I'm grateful for my body.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was another journey that I was kind of going on as well. So, and I worked on my confidence, and I literally stood in the mirror talking to my own self, telling
Mm-hmm.
myself positive affirmations every single morning. And that changed in 1 month my belief in myself, my self confidence. And I thought, right, I need to work, and I need to work on this, but work in stages.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not one of these person that just jumps and takes a leap of faith.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm I'm a person that has to go up in little stages, like baby steps. So February, Spirit kind of gave me an angel number,
Mm-hmm.
and something just clicked within me. And I read that angel number message, and it said, you need to show people your authentic self, who you really are. And at first I'm like, but everybody knows who I am. Like, and then it kind of, I went a bit deeper with it, and it's like, but they don't know that you are developing. They don't know that you're you're spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, oh God. And obviously developing with Katie, we had to practice on people.
Yeah.
So I just literally went on my own private personal Facebook page, my own page,
Mm-hmm.
and asked for people to practice on.
Oh, wow.
That was a major confidence kind of,
Yeah.
and
Booster.
as soon as I did it, I was like, oh my God, what if I can't do this? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I asked for 5 people to practice on, and I ended up with 27.
Ah, wow.
And I thought, you know what? I'm going to read them all. I'm going to try read them all
Yeah.
and see. So that beginning of reading those people, the messages were very, very short, very like one worded, or I could see an image, didn't know what it meant, and just give them it. I just thought, I'm just going to give them what I've got, and that's it. And they were very, very short, like on Messenger. Like, I just picked this up, and there was like, that is spot on, Dawn. This means this means this, and this means this. And I was like, oh. And after doing about 10, and everyone was like, yep, totally resonates. And then my reading started to get longer and more information, more detail, things that I could not possibly know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, God, I need more people to practice on.
Yeah.
So I went we're in psychic school with Katie. I went in there and I asked for more people to practice on. And I think I read all in all about 100 people
Oh, wow.
Practicing. And I saw my readings getting stronger, longer. Because I used to sit there and think, how do people
Just let it flow.
read for 30, read
Yeah.
for 30 minutes and
Yeah,
60
yeah.
minutes? Like mine are lasting 12 minutes, and I thought, I'm never going to be able to do this. And I didn't realize that it takes that practice. It takes keeping going for your readings to get longer, stronger, more in depth, more specific. And and now I struggle to stick to 30 minutes and I struggle to stick to 60 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
But that is it's incredible. It's incredible. And I think people think, oh, when they know they're a psychic medium or they get told they're a psychic medium, they expect the gifts to just be like, right, you can read straight away.
Uh-huh.
But it's not like that. It's literally gradual, and
Yeah.
things get easier, stronger as you go along and keep
Uh-huh.
going. You just
Yeah.
don't
The
give
more
up.
you practice, the more you do it, the more it's like a muscle, isn't it? Training that
Yeah,
muscle to be
yeah, it
stronger,
is.
you know.
Really is.
Oh, that's such a beautiful story, you know. So, what are you doing currently now with yourself? So you do your readings.
Oh, I do my readings. So I do offer like psychic guidance, whether it's for personal life or for business, and I offer mediumship readings or a mixture of both in one. So I do them. I do my readings, but things change. Like I always thought my sole purpose was to be a psychic medium.
Yeah.
However, when I went public in the end of May 2022, and I opened up a Facebook page and I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to offer it to the public and see how we go. And I knew
Yeah.
that I was spirit led because they were telling me what to do in
Yeah.
my guidance and my channeled writing as we're channeling. So it was 2 weeks after I'd gone public. It's almost like every time I stepped into what they were telling me to do, they rewarded me.
Yeah.
And I step in again and they rewarded me. So 2 weeks, I did some channeled writing and connected to spirit myself for guidance for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And they said to me, you're going to teach and mentor people. And I'm thinking, hell no, I'm not. Like that's not my sole purpose. It is
Uh-huh.
your sole purpose. This is what you're meant to do. You're going to activate people. You're going to activate their gifts. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I've only just come out of a psychic medium.
Uh-huh.
How can I start to be a teacher? And they give me my first download. And I was like, I've never had a download before, like what I call a
Yeah.
download as a business sense.
Uh-huh.
And they said, you need to teach people how to use their psychic senses.
Mm-hmm.
And they give me the information. They give
Yeah.
me the information of how I should teach it. And
They're teaching you and then you're teaching it down. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so, and they were like, this is what you need to do. And I did it. I thought, well, if this is what they want me to, I'm going to do it. I'm not going
Yeah.
to ignore them. So I did it, and it were really, really good. And the people, I mean, there wasn't a massive amount of people. I'd say about 13 people
Mm-hmm.
came on to that senses session, and we worked over 6 weeks. Each week doing a new sense, and they were having me on the live session, like create like go back to my memories of how I learned my senses and how different each sense you can receive information from to make it very simple.
Yeah.
And they said if you can teach a 5-year-old and get them to understand, you can teach anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the way I teach. It's simplistic
Yeah.
and easy to understand, because I think understanding spirituality and how it all works is the biggest factor, because people like me, I didn't understand it, so it scared me. I think
Mm-hmm.
when people understand it in an easier way, it doesn't scare them, and then they are comfortable and relaxed and they will develop their gifts.
Yeah.
So anyway, it started like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of grew, and they kept giving me these downloads, and I've got notepads upon notepads of downloads of courses and sessions that I need to bring out.
Yeah.
But I realized, I'm like, I don't feel aligned to that right now. So I think they were giving me it for the future.
Okay.
But I have been doing the ones that I feel aligned to. I've been doing psychic circles. So it's a circle of 10 of us. So it's nice and small and comfortable, and they feel safe and comfortable.
Yeah.
And we get to know each other better as friends as well. And I can teach in that.
Yeah.
And I can see exactly, and we all practice. It's all about practice, practice, practice. And the shifts that people have had, and it's a 6-week circle, psychic circle, and the confidence from week one, and seeing the change in them, and the belief in themselves, the belief in their gifts, is absolutely incredible. And that is what makes my heart full of contentment. It is what it really makes me feel alive. Like, that is priceless, to see other people stepping into their gifts and knowing that it's done in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there was like, no, you need to teach mediumship now. I'm like, oh my God, really? Now I do mediumship circles. And the change in them is incredible. It's really incredible. Honestly, I can't put it into words of how it lifts my energy higher.
And that's how you know it's your soul's calling. You know, that's how you know
Absolutely.
you're doing what you're meant to be doing. You know, when it lights you up like that. And like you said, with every elevation and every step that you was taking, spirit would like celebrate you, and, you know, and you're knowing, right, I'm on the right path. And that's how I explain flow to people. When people say, well, how do you know if you're in flow? Well, when you start taking those tricky steps, and it starts to, you start to get the things you want, you know you're in flow. And it's about holding that energy, you know.
It is. And you have a lot of fears, don't you? Your mind creates a lot of fears, and it really holds you back to a certain extent. And then it's working through those fears. But I know now, through my own experience, pushing through those fears in any business, it doesn't matter what it is, there's growth at the other side.
Definitely.
More opportunities, and it's amazing, honestly. And you know, so I do mentors, and I don't call anybody students, because I just feel like that's quite schoolish. You know what I mean? I'm like, we're adults, so it's like they're my clients, and we're friends, and we work together. We're all on a journey. I don't like to see I'm a teacher, you're a student. I don't like that. I find it really egotistical a little bit. But I like the fact that, you know, they are aligning to somebody who and they learn because they're aligned, and they learn quicker, and it all works out because it's alignment. And but I love the feeling. I've met so many beautiful people on all different points on their journey, and I'm still on my journey. I'm teaching, but I'm still in a mediumship, big, massive development group for my own self, so that I can go deeper and deeper in new ways. And because, you know, there's lots of younger children now who are coming out as mediums, and they have a new way of doing things, a modern way. So I like to go and experiment and see, and keep it open. And I allow my clients to, I don't say, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, because they have their own unique way, and it's about activating their unique way and how they are. And I always say, you need to be your authentic self when you're learning and developing, owning where you are at. Don't think that, you know, like, oh, I'm further on than this, or, you know, this. I said, and don't look at other people's journeys and compare yourself, because that will put you off. It'll set you back. Just know we're all on the same journey. We're just at different points of the journey. And so that makes them feel more relaxed and comfortable. And the activation side, which I didn't even know I was an activator. And it's funny, because my mentor said to me, you're just like me. in a message. You are an earth angel. You're just like me. And I'm like, oh, I thought she meant psychic medium.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, she's an activator. She's a spiritual teacher. She's an entrepreneur. She does absolutely loads. Amazing. And now I see what she was saying to me. It's actually like, you know, bing. Oh,
Yeah.
she's finally got it now. And I bet my spirit team are like, you
After
know,
all
she's
this
got it
time.
now.
So was that you know, the main person that was always around you over the years, was that your main guide then? Is that the same
Yeah.
person that's with you now? Is that established? Yeah.
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 So my guide is called Victor.
Okay.
Okay, and he's an African Indian, an Indian, and he has like a chief headdress. And a lot of people do have this kind of spirit guide. Okay,
Yeah.
and I didn't know who my spirit guide was at a young age, but I always heard the name Victor, Victor, Victor. So they were giving me clues and signs and this, that, and the other, and I just obviously ignored it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I started to really calm my mind, meditation, and set the intention to meet my spirit team. It doesn't matter if you meet your spirit team, you can still be a psychic medium.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You've just got to have that belief that they're working with you. But for me, I've built a relationship over time. And I still, even to this day, still do. So my main spirit guide, who's been with me since I was born, is Victor.
Yeah.
Okay. And he works with me, but I don't work where I'm asking Victor when I'm in readings. I'm dealing straight with the spirit loved one.
Yeah.
I know that my spirit guide is there, and I know that he's helping with that communication. Some mediums ask the spirit; it comes from the spirit guide. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not how I work. And my spirit team have changed over the years. Like I know they have, and I can feel it. So I can feel my angels, I can feel my spirit guides and my team, and they change for if you're the part of your journey that you're on, a new guide will come in to help you with that specific thing, and then they'll leave once you've got it. You know.
Yeah. It's so amazing. I love hearing like other psychic mediums when they talk, because it makes so much sense to me. And when you're trying to explain it to people that are not psychic mediums, they're like, okay, so you know, okay, like they're really trying to get their mind around it. But it's almost like you said, once you have your team, everything just seems so easy, you know. Although you can get answers from them, you don't need to, but you know that they're there holding the space for you and protecting you and all of these things. And I believe connection with your spiritual team, like you'll fly, you know. Once, you don't have to have it, but once you have it, you will fly in terms of you know, anything you do. You don't have to be a psychic medium, you know.
No, you
anything
don't.
you
This is
do,
it.
they help you to fly. And it's like, I just think it's such an important thing. I just love it. I absolutely love it.
Absolutely. The thing is as well, this is what I've also been, I say to everybody, like I brought out a soul connection session, which is about journaling. And so journaling, gratitude, putting your desires down, your goals, your desires, and then teaching people how to channel right for themselves, for guidance for themselves. And when I put that out there, I was like, you do not have to be a psychic medium. You may just want guidance for yourself for your own business. You might want guidance for yourself for your personal life. You just might want guidance. And you know, some people go to psychics and mediums for that guidance. And they can get this information themselves. And so that's why I created that it's only a little session, but it teaches them how to channel right and connect to their own team, and to trust and have faith and believe that what they're writing is from their team. So it's absolutely incredible, honestly. But I learned that I was an activator, and that I was like, oh, okay, then this is what I'm doing now. And then the latest one, they just had me releasing a one-to-one mentorship for 8 weeks, and it's like a fast track intensive really, really, really intensive. And I'm like, really? Am I going to be able to do this in 8 weeks? And they're like, Dawn, we wouldn't give you something that
Yeah,
you couldn't handle.
exactly.
I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And yeah, so I've just released that and had people have jumped on board, and it felt so aligned. Like I didn't even, normally I have a bit of worry and I'm like, oh God, I can't believe I'm doing this. But Monday I was just like, I created it, put it out there, forgot about it and just got on with my day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, 20 minutes later, when I'd look back at my messages, people were like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this.
Oh,
And I was like,
wicked.
wow.
Yeah.
And that's how you know it's aligned, don't you?
Yeah,
That,
exactly.
so it was beautiful, really beautiful. And I'm excited to work with these people. And I just love what I do. And I feel so blessed. It's like, there's no ego there. And like when I share my stages and my steps, I even put a post in my private developing family group. Was like, where were you 12 months ago? What were you thinking about? What were your goals 12 months ago? And I put, this were my goal. This was me looking 12 months later going, I hope I'm developed enough to be able to give some practice readings. And then I'm like, what happened 12 months later? And I listed everything that has changed.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not saying this from an ego point of view. I just want you to know that if you take baby step action like I did, everything changes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they were just like, oh my God. I think when people explain it in a certain way, they're kind of like, oh my God, where could I be in 12 months' time?
Yeah.
And I do find with spirituality, things change so fast. It can be 6 weeks.
Literally, because you collapse time, don't you? You collapse
It's
time.
mental.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who may be thinking about embarking on this type of a journey? They don't know very much about spirituality, but they've been drawn to maybe having readings done, or they've been
Mm.
told that they're psychic, but they haven't got a clue what to do. What
Yeah.
advice would you give them?
I would say just be very open to lots of different possibilities, more than what your mind can comprehend.
Mm.
Because I think sometimes we close ourselves off. So that's the first thing I would say, is be very open to possibilities and know that it takes time. It might take someone 6 weeks and then they're out there in the public. It might take someone a year. It might take someone 2 years. But it's all in divine timing. It's
Yeah.
like, it's not really up to you.
Mm-hmm.
It happens in divine timing. But just know and own where you're at all the time. Check in with yourself where you're at. Don't think you're more further on than you are. Not to be horrible to people, but owning where you're at. So I own where I'm at. I teach to where I'm at, and I'm learning and still developing to learn more to be able to help people further on in their journeys as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. It's about just owning that power, owning that where you are, but
Yeah.
just like embrace it and have fun, because I remember getting frustrated and fearful and terrified, and it shouldn't be like that. It should
Yeah.
be fun. And you
Uh-huh.
should, when you're practicing, you shouldn't be worried if it's going to be right or anything,
Mm-hmm.
because it's all about sitting in that energy and feeling that energy. And that's really the first part of it, is feeling and being in that space.
Yeah.
And then it all does come after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'd advise anybody.
Amazing. And also, what three ways of protection would you recommend using to protect your energy?
So you've got to protect your energy from humans. Okay, human energy, people around you, your loved ones, your children. Okay, so I actually just imagine myself, there's a white bubble in front of me, and I imagine myself stepping into that white bubble. With children, my children are very spiritual as well, and they do. My littlest boy at the minute is seeing angels, and he doesn't know they're angels, but he sees white lights and flashes, and he gets a bit scared, to be honest. So I ask him to imagine a white, fluffy cloud, and that we're going to go sit on the cloud, and we imagine all this beautiful white light around us, and we ask that we are protected and loved, and nothing can get through apart from love, joy, and abundance. And so I do that every morning. I ground myself every morning. I wrap myself in white light every morning to protect myself from human energy. And I also do that with spirit as well. And I do protect myself in that way. You can have crystals, there's lots and lots of different ways that you can protect yourself. And you do feel it, you feel protected as well.
Yeah.
So it's really, really nice. But yeah, so I'd wrap myself in white light. I even sometimes do an extra protection, like I wrap myself in Archangel's blue light as well for protection. So like a double layer of protection. And I cleanse my energy. That is a form of protection, even though it's cleansing your energy. So I do a chakra balance, cleanse and healing at the same time, and I've got a meditation for that. And everybody that jumps on with me, I always give them that, because I do that after readings and I can do it really quickly now. At first it takes you about 10 minutes. But yeah, I'd say cleansing, white light, blue light, and just setting that intention, just knowing that you are protected.
Yeah. Okay. And one last question. What is your favorite crystal and why? Why is it your favorite crystal? Yeah.
Right. So I'm not really into crystals, to be honest, which sounds a bit strange because most people are. But my daughter's actually a crystal. She's 17. She has loads of crystals. She uses them for confidence and everything. But she knows which ones to pick. And I'm like, I don't know. But this is the one I always have. And it's a rose. I don't know which way to put it there. Yeah. It's a rose quartz. And I have this. A lot of people, when they're opening up spirit, they use amethyst because it's a powerful crystal to open up spirit. But with this one, I use, because I bring in love in my readings, and I always feel it's always about love and being in that heart space. So yeah, this is my favorite one, and this is the only one I actually use, to be honest.
Okay.
So
that's nice. I do love a rose quartz. So how can people find you, Dawn? If they want to work with you, like, what's your socials? If you can just list it. And then what I'll do is I'll put all the information under the podcast anyway.
Okay, so I am on Facebook. My main platform is Facebook. So I do have a Facebook page, and that's Dawn Hacking Psychic Medium. I do have a community group for people who are just interested in all things spiritual, and I have my approved readers in there, people who have gone through psychic school, call it psychic school now, psychic circle, and practicing mediumship. They go on there. So there's lots of information on there, and that's Divine Sparkle, all things spiritual. I am on Instagram, which is Dawn Hacking Psychic Medium again, and I am on TikTok. I've just started TikTok, and my mentor was like, you need to get on this, because she's just gone and got like 1.1 million views. She's gone on it and that. So quick to build, and she's TikTok. Like, you need to get on there. And I'm thinking, oh God. So I am on TikTok, Dawn Hacking, everything's Dawn Hacking Psychic Medium. I am building a website at the minute, because this has all been spirit led and heart led. So it's just, I didn't really see it as a business at first, because it was just, I was just doing what I was doing. But I am doing my website, building that at the minute, and I'm also building a platform to have like a big, massive course, like an academy. So that isn't built yet, but Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook is all Dawn Hacking Psychic Medium.
Amazing. And like I said, I'll put all the links to you
under the podcast. Thank you so much.
It's been so amazing talking to you.
I've loved it. I've never done one before,
the first of many, I'm sure.
Maybe so. Who knows?
Okay, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Until the next time, take care.
Bye.